Welcome to the Two Blokes Chatting radio show on 94.7 The Pulse. Music, interviews, news, and, well, two blokes chatting. Now, here are the two blokes.
But we have a special guest with us now, and the next song that we're going to hear will be after we've had a chat to Ella, and it wasn't written by Jimmy Webb. Ella J, good morning and welcome to Two Blokes Chatting radio show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an enormous pleasure. So we need to know a little bit about you because until Kat made contact with me, to be perfectly honest, we hadn't heard of you. But you're a Geelong girl.
Yes, I am.
So have lived all your life in Geelong?
Yes, I've loved it. I've only lived here for about 5 years, I'd say, and then before that I was in Torquay and Melbourne.
Okay, so you're very much a local.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, that's a good start. So tell us a little bit about the journey. We'll get to your song and all that sort of stuff, but, you know, how long have you been singing? How did you get into singing? Why, you know, all that sort of stuff. Give us a bit of background on who you are.
Yeah, so for as long as I can remember, I have been into music and singing, and then at the age of 9, I saw Kelly Clarkson in concert, and ever since I saw her, that sparked a massive passion, and I knew that's what I wanted to do as my career. And then over the last 18 months, really, I've been getting out singing live at pubs, cafes and weddings. And, yeah, this year I just brought my first 2 songs out. I'm just trying to make my way, really.
Tell me about the Kelly Clarkson. Was it just the way she performed? Had you been a fan of her music before you saw her on stage? Because she is an intriguing person. She's unlike most Americans, she's a very humble lass. And
that's harsh.
No, she's a wonderful. She should have been an Australian, I reckon. I like her so much, but great performer and a brilliant performer. So you've taken a liking to her early days.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I always loved her songs, and then the way that she performed and interacted with the crowd, I think that's what really sparked my passion. Just seeing the whole atmosphere, really, of like what can be done when you're on stage is what I wanted to do.
So one of the questions we always ask aspiring musicians, new to the industry, because you're obviously relatively new to the industry.
Yeah.
Where does the musical talent come from? Do mum or dad or anyone else in the family sing? Are they musos, or are you the odd one out?
I am the odd one out. No one in my family has really any musical background. My mum played the drums, but that's really all.
Well, that's not music, is it? No. Good morning, Mum.
I don't know where I got my voice from, to be quite honest.
And so you've obviously had training. You've gone and learned how to sing properly. Is that, or is it a natural talent?
I think I've had a couple of lessons, but mostly I think I've just been singing a lot, so I've just learned to trade my voice.
Okay.
No, that's very good. We like to promote young talent, particularly local talent, but for someone who's starting out their career in the music industry, you couldn't have picked a worse time. You can't get out in front of crowds. You can't do the natural thing that Kelly Clarkson has inspired you to do. So how have you been working the I suppose the internet and other electronic methods to get your message out?
Yeah, I guess that's exactly right. It's had its ups and downs. Obviously, we can't go out and perform, which is, quite sad. But also, lots of people are at home sitting and listening to music. So it's also a great way to get my music out because people aren't really doing much at the moment. So, it's had its ups and downs, but I'm just trying to use my social media platforms and things like that to try and get the word out.
Oh, and obviously appearing on high-rating radio programs such as the Two Blokes Chatting radio show is obviously going to cut through the audience.
Have to help.
Yeah, I would have thought so. And we must point out at the moment that we've got an announcer on this radio station whose name is Wes J, and his surname is spelled J-A-Y. Your surname is spelled J. Yes. So we must point out that you are absolutely no relation to Wes. We've got to get that in early, haven't we?
Yes.
Who come up with the creative spelling of your surname?
Well, I don't know, my surname's Johnson, so we just thought,
that'll do.
Yeah.
Potter and Ella J.
Well, the problem with Johnson, of course, is it could be Johnson, it could be Johnston, it could be John Stone. It's really hard when you're looking for you on the website.
A bit of Jessie J there. Are you a fan of hers as well?
Yeah, I do like Jessie J. I loved her early days on.
No relation?
No relation.
No, because we've pointed out you're no relation to Wes J. Very important we do that. All right, so let's move forward to the song that we are going to play shortly. This is your second release. Tell us a bit about the first one and how that happens, because, I would have thought I'd like to release a song one day, but I would have absolutely no idea where to start. Where do you start when you do that sort of thing?
Yeah, so in the music industry, there's really no direction. So it's kind of about who you know and who you can get in touch with. So I got in touch with Andy Kelly from Sydney, and he pointed me in the direction of Rob Amoruso in Melbourne. who's a songwriter and producer. So I got in touch with him, and we just went from there, really, and we just cracked down on this song, and it took us, I think, 3 days to get it written and produced and, get it out to the world.
Because the other thing that puzzles me a little bit is I would have thought if I went to any secondary school in this town and I said to the group of the students, right, hands up who would like to be a singer, half of them would put their hand up, the other half would want to be AFL footballers. That would be the other half, I would have thought. So why would Rob say, well, Ella, yeah, I'll give you a crack? I mean, did you have to produce a portfolio of work for him? Or, I mean, how does he go, yeah, Ella, you look like the go?
Yeah, I think Rob is one of a kind, honestly. He loves giving, young musicians in the industry a chance, really. So he just wants to help them out. So he just was like, of course, I'll help you out. I didn't have to show him really anything. And I think he looked at my social media, but other than that, he just wanted to take a chance on me, and it kind of paid out.
Oh, ABBA had a chance on. They took a chance on them, didn't they? That was a song. So
Okay,
Goodbye
well.
Player came out. The next song that's coming out, and has come out this week, I think, Woman Ooh La La.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about the song.
Yep, so Woman Ooh La La is about leaving all the negativity and negative people behind in your past and basically striving forward as your individual self to try and succeed in the best way that you can.
I've listened to it a couple of times. My major concern with the track, and I've got to be honest with you, is that Rob may get up and start dancing.
Oh,
And that,
Oh, right.
I put it to you, fortunate for you can't see that, but I may have to take my own eyes out if he starts doing that.
don't listen to him. I still move very, very well, actually, for a man of my vintage.
And that's why he's on radio, Ella. So, did you actually participate in the writing process, or is it something that someone came along and said, here you go, have a crack at this?
No, it was all my idea basically, and I went in with my writing, and then myself, Rob, and another lady called Liz Weber. We basically just sat down together and we just wrote it, as a group of three.
So how does that work? It fascinates me. We were talking about a bloke earlier on the program. His name was Paul McCartney. I assume you're familiar with some of his work. And he wrote a song called Yesterday, and he went round to his friend's house the next morning and said, I've woken up this morning and I've played this song. I'm wondering whether you've heard it before, because he was concerned it was so clear in his mind that he must have heard it somewhere before. And he sat down and wrote it in 20 minutes. How do three people sitting in a room go, I tell you, because Rob and I are going to do it after the show. There's two of us here. We're going to sit down and write a song. How do you do it? I mean, what's the process?
I think I write my songs based on life experiences. So I had a bunch of notes written down and some lyrics, and then I went in and I told them the idea that I had. And Rob's really good. He comes up with the melody and that basically on the spot. And then Liz and I just sit down and we just basically just sing and just see what comes out. And then if something comes out that sounds good, we just write it down. And that's basically what we do for the full day, full 6 hours. And we just try and crack it out.
So in your mind, you're creating the music and the lyric at the same time, rather than completing one and then making it fit to something later.
Yeah, basically right. Yep.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the I was about to say something really terrible. All the great songwriters. I don't mean that in a bad way, but you look at your Elton Johns, who had a Bernie Taupin, he would write the music and send the music off and say, put some words on this, or the other way around. So you're actually sitting in the room at the same time. So you're obviously a Kelly Clarkson fan.
Yep.
And presumably others as well. What stops you from going in and saying, here's this really good song I've got going around in my head, and you find out it was actually a number one hit for Kelly 3 weeks ago? How do you pull that out of your brain? Because there's been lots of situations where musos have been sued because they've copied someone else's music.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think especially it comes down to the whole melody and beat as well that can get copyrighted. I get inspiration, but then I give it to them, and then we just basically can change it. It has the same sort of feel to it, but it's a completely different beat.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I'm impressed.
We're about to find out. Woman Ooh La La.
Indeed. So is there someone you need to give a shout out to, your school or something like that? Do we need to say, as in where you went to school, or are we all good? Here's your big chance.
I just want to thank Rob Amoruso and Liz Weber for giving me the chance and helping me out on my journey. I wouldn't be where I am without them. So
And Kat, who organised the interview.
Yeah, and Kat as well.
Oh, sorry, was there someone else there? I didn't quite catch that at the end.
Yeah, and Kat as well, who organised the interview.
Yeah, no, good, because she's listening. Hello, Kat. Thanks for getting in touch with us. Well, I guess we've talked a lot about it. I guess the proof of the pudding is in the eating, Ella. We are going to hear the song I'm going to turn my back on Rob because I know it's going to be a very, very ugly visual.
Thank you, Ella. All the very best.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for joining us. See you, mate.
Say my name, I'm on my way, it's LJ. I'll be shooting forward like a runaway train. Watch this space, I'm unashamed, not second place. I've been waiting patiently for you to press play.